If you are learning how to code, you really need to know the building blocks of the web, which includes CSS, HTML, and JavaScript. Today, I'm going to be breaking down each one for you, so by the end of this video, you have a very clear understanding of what each one does. Before we get started though, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more tech and coding related content. Shout out to some of these subscribers here. Thank you, I see you. Some of you have been with me since under 5,000 subscribers, which is crazy. So thanks for being along on this journey. If you are someone that is looking to become a web developer, it is so essential that even before you maybe write a piece of code or open your computer to code, that you have an understanding of the three building blocks of the web, which is CSS, HTML, and JavaScript. It's so important to not just be able to write these things, but also have an understanding so you can continue to grow and progress in your career. Let's start with HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And no, HTML is not a programming language, but it is such a huge part of the building blocks when it comes to the web. Without HTML, honestly, the web I don't even know what it would look like. HTML at the core is a huge part of the web. HTML uses different tags and elements to identify what you see on screen. So for example, if you are looking to have a paragraph on screen, you would use the P tag. If you are looking to have an image on screen, you would use the IMG tag. These tags will show exactly what it is you are trying to show to the user. I like to think of HTML as a way to have different instructions as to what to show to the user. So for example, as I mentioned, the P tag to show paragraphs, the IMG to show images, and it's a really great way to think of HTML as kind of a set of instructions. Websites would look pretty boring though if it wasn't for the help of CSS. As you can see, this would be a website without any CSS. It's boring, it's plain. I mean, who would really want to use any websites? And that's where we go to CSS. While HTML is the markup language, CSS you can think of as the design language. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. And there are many different versions of CSS, many different takes on it, but at its core, CSS is used to make a website look good. Sounds simple, right? Why complicate things? It does get complicated the further you get into it, but at its core, that's what it does. I'm going to show you a website here that has CSS. As you can see, it's a no-brainer. It makes things just instantly look so much better. I think as humans, we are so visual, so CSS is so important. I often hear people say front end is boring, or designers or front end people, they have such a boring job, which is completely not true. I think it's just because back end is having a moment. But in reality, these people who focus on front end or design, they have such an important job to ensure that when a user goes to a website, for example, they actually stay there right away because of what they see visually. When you think CSS, think of it as a list of rules that you can assign properties to different HTML tags. You can make each tag look unique, have different styles depending on what it is. Before CSS, I'll show you on screen how to write styles. As you can see, it would get very inefficient as it continued to get longer and longer with more styles, writing it directly inline in the HTML tags. That's why CSS is so amazing to have its own file where you can put all the different styles into it. Nowadays, there are so many different CSS frameworks that you can use that really help speed up the process when you are designing or developing a website and the look of it. Some include Tailwind, Bootstrap, Pure CSS, Foundation CSS. I would say Tailwind and Bootstrap right now are definitely the most popular ones. I've used Tailwind a little bit, Bootstrap a ton in the past, and at this point it's literally between their documentation, and the community online, it makes it very easy to start using. Okay, so if I put this website on screen here, now that we have HTML and CSS, you can see that it looks fine. What really are you missing? Probably nothing until you start interacting with it. And that's where JavaScript comes in. JavaScript essentially is a programming language that is used to help with the user interacting with the website. So what I mean by that is actually, I'm going to put up on screen here, when you interact with the website, you will get a response back from the website. This might be a pop-up, this might be notifications, an animation, and so much more. Most dynamic behavior you see on websites is thanks to JavaScript. JavaScript has many different frameworks and libraries that can be used with it, but I always say if you are learning JavaScript, start with vanilla JavaScript. JavaScript is widely used across the web and now is used not only both in the front end side of things and also now it's used in the back end with Node and Express. For the purpose of this video though, we are going to talk mainly about the front end use with JavaScript. When you think JavaScript, it's not necessary to add to make a website. However, it can add so much more dynamic possibility to the website and make it more exciting for the user. So next time you think JavaScript, essentially just think of it does something, it tells the computer to do something. Here are a few more things that JavaScript is used for. You can use JavaScript to add interactivity to websites if you want to make a website more than a static page, as we spoke about. Also, you can use JavaScript to develop mobile applications. It's not just used for websites, it's also used to create apps you have on your phone or tablet. You can also use JavaScript to create web browser-based games. A lot of games you play directly from your browser are made with JavaScript. And as I mentioned, it's also used for back-end web development. So as you can see, all three ingredients are needed to make a really wonderful interactive website. And it's possible to make a website without JavaScript, as I mentioned. However, having the help of JavaScript can really enhance the website, let's just say that. I hope this helps you in a very quick way have a high-level understanding of what HTML is, what CSS is, and what JavaScript is. With the three of them combined, you are really unstoppable when it comes to making different websites. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you found it very valuable and helpful. Make sure to give the thumbs up button to this video and also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave in the comments other videos you want to see, and I will see you all soon. Thanks, everyone.